Hello everyone and good morning. It is Tuesday, February 26th, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of Unravel, which was down in Farnham in Surrey. I'm going to take you on a tour of Unravel, albeit an abbreviated tour. It was so busy all day I didn't actually get a whole ton of footage. I felt like I got more than I actually got. And I'm also going to have a bit of a discussion about something, a couple of things actually that kind of hit me a bit while I was there. So let's get started. Okay, so this was the very first video that I took at Unravel about 10 minutes after I walked through the door. Hello everyone, it's me. I've made my first purchase 5 minutes after I entered the doors. So this is Third Vault Yarns. Can't quite get that in. This is Third Vault Yarns that I'm at, and this is her Starfire self-striping, because of course I want Teen Titans self-striping yarn. Exciting! So that was the first video that I took at Unravel. As you can see, I'm using the LC player to play them on the other screen. It hopefully should make rendering a little bit easier. We'll see. So I will just kind of carry on and show you what's next. So this is one of the things that I actually love about Unravel that I think they do really well, is that they have actual art exhibits in with the rest of the vendors. It's not tucked away in some corner where nobody's going to look at it and see it. It's throughout the entire building. That's probably because they're part of like Farnham Maltings. It's like a whole artsy craftsy community. But I really liked this piece. It was one of the first ones that I saw when I was there. And I'll let you listen to what I had to say on the day. Right, this is one of the things that I do love about Unravel is the art displays. So, as you can see, this is kind of a textured see-through thing. And it's called Trapped. So this is all made from discarded fishing gear that is floating around the oceans and causing ecological damage. And that's by an artist called Jennifer Jones. That's quite striking, I think, when you look at it and we sort of examine all of the different kinds of ropes and net present. And when you think about the ecological impact of overfishing, or just fishing in general. Okay, so you saw what I had to say there about this particular piece of art. It's meant to sort of let me get rid of that actually. So you saw what I had to say about that piece. It was actually meant to sort of show, you know, the ways that overfishing and just fishing in general can seriously damage the aquatic environment. And I don't know, making a sweater out of fishing net it's kind of a multifaceted piece of art, because not only are you making something out of these discarded fishing nets, but you're also making a sweater, which is something that's really commonly made in the knitting community, is something that, you know, a fisherman's sweater. So I thought that that was actually very interesting. Let's carry on. Let's see, what do I have next? Is this the third thing that I did? It must have been. I'm trying to go as chronological as I can. So this is John from Easy Knits. I had a long chat with him. Well, not long, but I had a chat with him and he was showing me some of his fab new self-striping yarns.
From Easy Knits, and I am knitting with Flash, which is our latest yarn, which stripes up like this as you knit.
Looks rad. Let's see. And that's what it looks like in this game. So I'm not 100% sure why all of them are showing up in portrait mode. I did take them in landscape, but something weird has gone with the data, and now it's like assuming that I want all of them this way. So that's why I know better than to film in portrait, but something bizarre has happened. Anyway, so those are some fab new self-striping sock yarns. And he was showing me both the skeined version and the reskeined version, and just how it looks when he twists it up when he's done with it, and he was showing that in the video. It's one of those things that sometimes it's really difficult to tell what a yarn is going to look like in a skein until you, sometimes people prefer to see it reskeined. Some people don't want to see it reskeined. It's really just personal preference. With sort of special yarns like that, I'm trying to get more swatches made up. I'm thinking about getting some sort of knitting machine thing. I don't know. Lots to think about. Okay. And then I headed... Is this just like a random picture that I took? Okay. Well done, me. So then I wandered down into the basement. I don't remember what the actual room is called. The Undercroft? Maybe that was a different room. And Amy Florence of Stranded Dye Works was there. It was so busy during the day that I didn't want to bother any of the vendors by like muscling in with my phone and my camera and trying to take poorly shot video for this podcast. So this was one of those times that I took a little bit of sneaky video and then went back and had a chat with Amy later on. Alright everyone, I just recorded a whole long thing and realized I hadn't actually recorded it, so here I am in the Stranded Dye Works stall. And I'm just showing you some of the wonderful yarns. And I'm going to show you this one. It's quite flat, right? You can see this one. This one is Bat Cave. Ah, that's fun. Yeah. Don't mind my dye hands. So I just thought I would show you all that, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up with Amy a little bit later. I just wanted to say, of course, I would pick up one of the geeky themed yarns that she had out there. Of course, how on brand for me. Okay, so then in the same area was Louise of Spin City, who I can never resist going over to her stall. Everything is so beautifully laid out. It's just so perfect. She's got these beautiful bats on these beautiful shelves, and she's got spinning wheels, and there's people spinning, and it's just like, it's like a candy land of beautiful, fun amazingness, basically. It's just really fab. Everyone, I'm back. I am in the Spin City stall, and I just wanted to show you a close-up of some of her bats. I didn't really get a close-up when I showed you her stuff from the Wall from the Abbey podcast, so I thought I would show you this. I have this one. I need to spin it. I've had it for ages. In fact, I think I bought it from her on Unravel like 2 years ago. So I actually have this one, but this one is calling my name. That's actually like a really deep green and silver. Very Slytherin-esque. In fact, I'm gonna stop filming and I'm gonna get it. Okay, so I will say, look, it's green, so you can't see it because I need a green intervention. I tell you, I've got real problems. My problems are green. I didn't actually buy that much at Unravel, as previously stated in other podcasts. I don't tend to stash that much, and I even told myself I wasn't going to buy any more spinning fiber, and I had to, because it's green. It's like a dark green, and it's sparkly. You saw it in the video. I can't show it to you now because of the green screen. But yes, it's super snuggly, and I love it. And I need to, I don't know, I should do some spinning soon, I think. Where was I? Ah, yes. So after I stocked up my stash at Spin City, I wandered across the room to Giddy and Yarns. They were both, they were at Perth with me back in September. Their yarns are fab. They didn't want to be on camera, so I did the show for them, basically. Hello everyone, I am in the Giddy and Yarns stall, and ooh, look at these sparkles. Those have caught my eye. Ooh, that dark blue sparkle is gorge. But I wanted to show you this. They said it's like probably one of their best sellers today, and there's the name, Fabulous. What is this? This is a merino single. It's really soft, and that color is just stunning. Like, the camera's not even picking up just how stunning that is. Yeah, I probably put that back in the wrong spot. And then let's see what else we've got. We've got some speckles in here. Got some nice, that looks like a chunky. It is a chunky. It's called Canopy. Oh, you all know me. I need a green intervention. Always buying the greens. I do need a green intervention. It's becoming a problem. It's becoming a problem when you use a green screen. Yeah, so as you can see, those yarns were super sparkly and super saturated with color. Obviously, I'll drop links to all these fine folks down in the show notes. So definitely give them a look if you are looking for any of that lovely lusciousness that you saw in that video. As I said in the video, I do need a green intervention. And I met these lovely folks from Irish Artisan Yarn. I'd not heard of them before, so I had a chat, and they wanted to show me something exciting that they had for Unravel.
I'm Tara, Irish Artisan Yarn. We're here at Florence for the Unravel Festival. I just want to show you my beautiful alpaca silk that is in the ecru and mizzenhead colourway that has been knitted by Daniela at the Colourful Knit. And we're giving away this pattern for everyone at Unravel, but you can also get it on Ravelry, and you can find the yarn at irishartisanyarn.com.
All right, that's fabulous. Thank you very much. Ooh, random Spotify playlist. Right, yeah, so their yarns are super luscious. Mint Bee and I had great many squishes. I did go with Mint Bee yarns, and I also went with Trisha, a woman in our knitting group. I do think I have a video with them a bit later on that evening. Let's see. What was next? Right. The Mint Bee video is actually next. Okay. So, I ran into Mint Bee. We met up for lunch, and when we met up for lunch, I'd bought the self-striping stock yarn from Lola of Third Vault, and I'd also bought the sparkly bat from Louise of Spin City, and Marie hadn't bought anything yet. She was like, oh, you know, I'm just not sure. She'd seen things that morning that she loved, but wasn't sure if she was gonna take the plunge. And then I ran into Mint Bee about 30 minutes after lunch. Right, we're with Mint Bee Yarn, who has bought a fabulous tote bag. This is Knitting and Gin from, where are we? We are at this stall, Stu Stratford. And what else did you get, Mint Bee? Show us. Let's have a look inside Mint Bee's bag.
A shawl kit.
A shawl kit. Let's check it out. I'm just digging around here. Let's see. We've got the voltage shawl pattern, and it looks like a yarn pack. Well done, Marie.
Face of shame.
No shame. So as you can see, Marie, she made up for lost time there for sure. About 30 minutes after that, I saw her with a sweater quantity of luscious cashmere yarn from Yarntellier, along with a pattern for a jumper sweater she's going to make. I'm losing all of my Americanness. I don't even know who I am anymore. So I don't have a video of this because I felt like it was a bit unfair to take a video of a talk without clearing it with the speaker first. But this is Ava Nee. She's from Ireland, and she was doing a talk on the pyramid of creativity. I went to the talk because Ava's fabulous, of course, but also because I don't know, I've been talking a bit about my struggles with losing my knitting mojo, with feeling a bit out of sorts with things, feeling a bit, you know, loss of creativity, feeling a bit stuck. You know, there was a few weeks ago where everything I dyed looked exactly like something else that I'd already done. So I went to this talk because I was looking to get some serious inspiration, and I definitely did. So I don't know if she'll be doing this talk at other festivals, so I won't, you know, give you the full rundown of everything. But one thing that really super resonated with me was she was talking a lot about embracing your mistakes or your perceived failures and kind of like leaning into that. There was a quote that she said, something, I don't remember who it was, sorry, but it was talking about failing better. So I think that's something that a lot of us struggle with, especially if you're a little bit of a perfectionist, like some people I know. If you're a little bit of a perfectionist, then you may struggle with failing or feeling like you're not great at something. There's a meme that goes around the internet that's something like, I tried something once and I wasn't immediately amazing at it, therefore I'm terrible and everything I touch dies. Which is something that I definitely resonate with. I struggle to not just be like, oh, I'm amazing at this right away. It's honestly one of the reasons that I haven't done much spinning since I stopped being able to drop spindle due to some RSI in my wrist. It just feels foreign and difficult, and I feel bad. I don't feel bad. I just feel like, you know, oh, I'm not good at this. I'm never going to be good at this. And I mean, you'd think somebody who studied music for a long time would be familiar with the concept of practice, but you'd be wrong. Anyway, huge digression. Ava's talk was really inspiring. As you can see, she's got a whole bunch of shawls laying out on the table in front of her, and she talked a lot about the regional differences in Irish lace crochet, Irish crochet lace, yes, and how it saved a lot of families from starvation during the potato famine. So Ava's talk was fabulous. I do hope to see her doing talks at other shows, especially this talk. It did seem to resonate with a lot of people that were in the room. She was also quite candid about her own struggles with mental health, which is just endlessly refreshing. It's something that as a society we tend to kind of push down, or, you know, everyone does the whole, oh yeah, like if you're ever feeling bad, you can definitely talk to me, but that's kind of as far as it goes. A lot of people don't want to talk about their own struggles because they feel like it can undermine their professionalism, which is ridiculous. Almost what is it, like 2/3 of people will deal with some sort of mental health issue at some point in their lives, whether it's due to, you know, a chemical imbalance in your brain, or whether it's due to trauma or a specific life event. You know, we're all going to deal with it at some point, so we might as well be a bit more open about it. You wouldn't try to, like, awkwardly hide your broken arm from people you work with, you know, wearing oddly shaped ponchos in order so that you, oh no, I don't want to tell anyone that my arm is broken. They might think that I can't do my job. You know, you'd just be like, oh man, I broke my arm last weekend. I took one hell of a tumble when I was slipping on the ice. That sounds like something I do. You know, you wouldn't try to hide it. You would just be very upfront and, I broke my arm, or I got the flu, or I'm sick, you know? Mental health should be the same, and Ava's candidness about her own issues was just super refreshing, and it made me feel a lot more comfortable and empowered to talk about, you know, my own issues now and in the future. And yeah, it was a fabulous talk. Like I said, I don't have any video of it, but I'll drop a link to her Ravelry or Instagram or something, so that you can check out her lovely patterns on there. And she does a lot of Tunisian crochet, which is, it seems like witchcraft to me, but it's something that I'm definitely gonna have to tackle at some point this year. Okay, so then after the talk, I did some more wandering into a room that I hadn't found before. And honestly, I've been to Unravel 3 or 4 times now. I always get lost. I have no sense of direction. I go in there and it just turns into like a wormhole, and I'm like, where am I? Anyway, so I found Kaz and Nikita of Woola Yarn. This one is showing up properly, which makes me think maybe I did just film the other ones incorrectly, which means I probably should have had more coffee on the day that I was there last Friday. So let's see what Kaz had to say.
I'm Kaz, I'm Woola, and this is all my hand-spun, hand-dyed yarn.
Hand-spun and hand-dyed.
Hand-dyed and hand-spun, yeah. So I've got a big old spinning wheel, and check out the big chunky little numbers.
I need to squish it. Wow, that's huge. That's chunky.
So I started spinning because I couldn't find chunky yarn that I wanted to use, and I was going around yarn fairs. I couldn't find like anything that really kind of spoke to me. So I thought, well, I'll just go learn to make my own. That's like a really obvious thing to do. And then it all got a bit out of hand.
It all got a bit out of hand, she said, in front of her massive stall of chunky yarn.
So wool is all about colour and texture and.
What's your favourite thing you brought with you today?
This. Because this took me bloody months to make, and some of you may have seen me trying to make it at Yarndale and other places, but
that looks amazing.
It sits on our sofa and we use it all the time, and it's a sock weight yarn, and it's just crocheted around some of my chunky yarn. So
that's so squidgy though.
That's my favourite thing I've made. In terms of dark like yarn,
that's super squidgy. I want to wear that as a cloak and deign myself the Queen of the North.
That's my favourite yarn that I've got. So
well, like the camera's even like,
oh, color contrast.
Let's see, this is chew it like it's real good. Excellent.
So any of you that are fans of 90s,
I mean, y'all know me. I love a neon.
yeah.
Lovely.
So yeah.
And then I also really like these. The mini monsters. Look at that. That's fun. Especially this green one. I need to stop with the green. Jesus. So the chat with Kaz was fruitful, as you can see. I will tell you that blanket that she was showing me is the squidgiest. It is so squidgy. I don't know, I'm super tempted to make one of myself. Make one myself. As you can see, she had like some chunkier yarn. As you can see, she had some chunkier yarn that was then sort of crocheted together using a fingering weight, as she said in the video. It was so squidgy. I definitely need one for next winter. As I said, I was gonna wear it around my shoulders and declare myself Queen of the North or Queen of the Dying. I don't know. Or the, like, people might not know what that means. Queen of the Dying sounds like I'm Persephone hanging out in the underworld. I don't know. Seems cool. So this was another issue of weird aspect ratio, weird data going on. So I had to sort of crop and rotate the video. Very strange. I'm gonna have to get a handle on things. I probably just held the phone upside down. Anyway, this is Carmen, who also runs a yarn story in Bath.
Carmen from Walcott Yarns and a Yarn Story. This is our in-house brand, and Opus is our first yarn. It is a 70% Falkland Merino and 30% baby alpaca, and 100% awesome.
That's really soft.
Yeah, it feels more like cashmere.
It does feel more like cashmere.
Yeah. We have 16 colors in the range, 6 of which were just added in November.
Which 6 are new?
So the Cove, this lovely teal.
Yeah, that's legit. That's a nice teal.
Yeah. The dark navy blue down there at the bottom.
Right?
The dark gray.
Ooh.
Summer Storm, which is like a neutral purple.
It's kind of like a dusty mauve.
Yes. And then plum.
Love a plum.
Yeah.
Obviously, my hair's
plum.
Yours is really violet. Actually, it's plum. Well, anyway, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. It's like the color is violet at the bottom. Look, I'm showing people now. Yeah, cool.
That's our yarn range.
Welcome. Awesome.
Thank you.
And you're based in Bath.
In Bath.
In Bath. Right. So if you're in Bath, check it out.
Check us out.
Yep. So yeah, Carmen is based at a yarn story up in Bath, and those yarns feel lusciously soft. I didn't know that Carmen was there at first, because usually when she's at shows, she's there as a yarn story, but she was there as her yarn brand is Walcott Yarns. So I was wondering, I wandered past this stand a couple of times, and then I saw Carmen. I was like, oh, I didn't know you were here today. And she said, yeah, I'm surprising people. They didn't know I was here. I will say, there were a lot of vendors that I wanted to talk to that I didn't get a chance to, because it was so busy most of the day that I was really only able to chat with people maybe the last 30 minutes or so. So I just didn't get time to talk to everyone I wanted to talk to, which was a total shame, because there was definitely people that I wanted to have a chat with, and I just didn't get a chance, unfortunately. I mean, it's great that it was so busy. It was great for them, I'm sure. But a bummer for me that I didn't get to do everything that I wanted to do. I just wanted to say, this is when things really kicked off, and it was a total blast. I wanted to meet Aisha of Dusty Dimples back at Yarnporium back in November, but I got kind of sidetracked and pulled away. So I was really glad that I was able to meet her at Unravel this past Friday.
Hi guys, I'm Aisha from Dusty Dimples.
Yes, Dusty Dimples.
You can take it from there.
All right. I did see you at Yarnporium back in November, and ooh, we're getting some nice lens flare there. Lovely, gorgeous yarn. So what made you start dyeing yarn?
I've always dyed yarn.
You've always dyed yarn?
I was dabbling in it for a while before a friend of mine said to do it on a whole new level.
I found it, Julie! Right. So you've always dyed yarn. Tell me.
And then a friend on Instagram said, come on, start selling it. And then 2 years ago, I took the leap and started selling it.
Well, we're all glad that you did, because look at these tiny minis. Look how cute they are. I want to take them all home and give them names. and they can be my pets. Ah, fab. Thank you so much. So after Julie showed up, obviously everything is going to get wacky and crazy and super fun. We decided that we were the new hair crew and that we had to we had to have a moment of a slow-mo hair toss. Say when. We're gonna go. So later that evening, Aisha of Dusty Dimples posted this picture on her Instagram, and like I do with every picture that gets posted of me on Instagram, I start examining it and going, oh, well, I don't like this about myself, and I don't like that about myself, and I look too this, and I look too that. You know, I look too big, I have, you know, a double chin, I have this, I have that, and I was getting kind of really wound up about it. I mean, I do that with every picture, so nothing special here. You know, and honestly, it's a little bit narcissistic when we think that other people are going to look at us the same way that we really focus in on what we look like. And I was getting way too wound up about it, as I do most of the time. I talk a lot about body positivity and fat positivity and loving yourself for who you are, but you know what? It's hard for all of us. I talk a good game, but I am just as bad with myself as I'm sure many of you are with yourselves. It's a difficult and challenging thing, and the progress to sort of self-acceptance, it's not a straight graduated line. It's more like a messy spaghetti pile. But then she posted this on her Instagram stories, and it's a video of when Julie and I were doing our our fabulous hair tossing, and it says, "Two ladies that truly radiate positive energy. Thank you both for the smiles and getting me to relax a little bit too." I sat on the couch and really mulled over that, because it made me feel so positive and so good that, you know, that's what Aisha, who I'd never really met or spoken to before, that's what she took away from that interaction, was like positivity, positive energy. You know, she said, you know, thanks for the smiles and like helping her to kind of relax a little bit as well. If you haven't seen her, I think it's called Sipsilla sweater, go to her Instagram because it's beautiful. I saw it when she was just showing it to me. She wasn't wearing it that day, as you can see in the picture, but it's gorgeous. Like, definitely go have a look. But I don't know, I really just kind of mulled on this a lot, and I really thought a lot about, you know, well, who are we really, you know? And what is it that we want to give to the world? What is it that we want people to remember about us? And you know what? This right here, this is what I want people to remember, I guess, about me. But anyway, it just goes to show you that, you know, focusing on our own perceived flaws and imperfections it's not productive. It's going to make you feel garbagey, and what's the point anyway? Most people aren't going to look at us and see those same flaws and imperfections. They're just going to take away at face value the kind of interaction that you have with them. But I will say that this kind of made me like leak happy tears out of my eyes. So thank you for that, Aisha, for that absolutely needed reality check. I don't know, it was an interaction that really, I don't know, it really struck me. I was already home by this point when I saw this, or maybe I was in the car on the way back, but I had already left the festival when I saw this, and it just, I don't know, it just kind of hit me a bit. So there you go, there's my dose of reality from Unravel. Sometimes you make connections with people that just feel real and genuine, and yeah, and positive. We don't have enough positivity in the world these days, I say. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. There was a cat wandering around at Unravel that, of course, Julie was trying to make friends with. And at first, the cat didn't seem super interested. But then later that evening at the pom-pom quiz, you can see who's sitting in Julie's lap there. So there you go. And that's my friend Trish that I came with Mint Bee, who's also kind of in that frame a little bit. But yes, so as you can see, she was successful in her in her attempts to befriend the studio cat, I guess. And then I had to wander back upstairs to the main area, and I had a chat with Louise of Sincerely Louise, who I've been seeing at shows for ages, and I've met on several occasions, I guess. So this was the first time that I was actually able to offer her some sort of something in the way of talking to me.
Makes producers for Bowden at Festival to Sunset House, and they got picked up by Tatler and magazines, and they used to sell the pink issues. Turn into knitted kits.
That's really cool. You got some, oh, the mini heads, those are pretty new, aren't they?
Yeah, just baby versions.
Oh, that's really cool. And then she's got loads of pattern collections, and I'm going to show you my favorite things. Dinosaur slippers, which are rad, and this tiny manta ray. Stingray? Manta ray. I don't really know the difference. Manta rays are bigger? I don't know the difference. Anyway, so that's what we've got going on. If you are in the need for a giant taxidermy head or a small one, then you know where to go.
Right, giant taxidermy or mini taxidermy, you now know where to go. And I think that I need one of those tiny stingray manta rays. Is it just the size that's the difference? I'm gonna have to look that up. So then I went back downstairs and grabbed Amy just maybe a few minutes before the show closed and they were getting ready to let the vendors pack up for the evening. So I had a chat with Amy Florence.
I'm here with Amy, the seasoned podcasting pro.
I don't know, that's a pretty impressive billing, so...
It's alright, I think you've earned it. Oh, I like your socks up there.
Thank you, my sock rainbow.
Sock rainbow. I'm super jealous of your sock knitting machine, I'll be honest.
It is amazing.
It is.
And I justified it as a business purchase because of this rainbow, so...
Yeah, if I had a bit more range or a bit more space, I feel like I would be like, it's a business purchase for my feet.
Yeah.
So, Amy, show us something you want to show us today.
Something I want to show you.
A favorite, a new...
A favourite or a new? I'm going to show you this. It's a one of a kind, but I really like it. This is a one of a kind. It doesn't have a name. It's just a paint box one of a kind, and it's a fun orange.
It's a BFL sock.
It's a BFL sock, BFL nylon.
Very nice.
My favourite for socks.
Tell us about BFL nylon for socks.
So BFL nylon, BFL is a longer staple fibre, so it's not quite as soft as merino, but if you're hard on your socks and you like wear holes in them, a BFL nylon, this is a BFL nylon high twist, so it's really good for people who are on their feet a lot, people who are harsh on their socks.
So basically for indie dyers and...
Yes. Oh, yes.
Because I will tell you, I am super mega hard on socks, so I'm just going to look at your samples here. This is lovely. I love this mesh. I did it... Which pattern is this, actually? I thought this looked familiar. It's because I've made one. I was looking at it going, oh, like the mesh and the stripes. This looks familiar because I made one like 4 years ago.
That's an older one.
Yeah, an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did mine in cotton, actually. Yeah, that was pre my indie dyeing days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some lovely stuff in
Let me
here.
get out of your way.
It's all good. I was showing people a bit of stuff earlier when you were a bit busier. Anyway, cool. Thanks, Amy.
Bye.
So as you can see, Amy had some lush stuff at Unravel this year. It's quite funny that I was looking at that shawl and I was like, wow, this is really pretty. I really like this garter stripe in the mesh. It's because I made one. Not recently. I think it was probably 3.5 or like I said, 3.5 or 4 years ago that I made that. It's called the Quicksilver Shawl by Melanie Berg. Mine was blue and green because I need a green intervention. That's just going to become the name of this podcast. I need a green intervention. Me like forever trying to show green fiber and yarn in front of a green screen, desperately trying, failing miserably. So that evening, me and Mint Bee and our friend Trisha, we had booked tickets to the Pom Pom knitting quiz in the evening, and we absorbed some other people into our group. Mint Bee, Marie, got her shawl pack for that voltage shawl I showed you earlier in this podcast. So I wanted to do more of a close-up of that because I was just kind of snooping in her bag earlier in the podcast. I wanted to do a bit more of a close-up while we were waiting for the quiz.
I just wanted to do, I wanted to show off somebody else's stash acquisition. So I showed this a bit earlier. This was the Volt shawl
pack that Marie from Mint Bee purchased, so I just wanted to show them kind of in detail. So these are obviously from Skein Queen, but I kind of wanted to give you like a nice close-up of those really chunky speckles. And this is on a single ply merino, and I think that that's going to look really nice. I will say, I do love a chunky speckle. The picture I'm in front of today that I'm using as the background for the green screen is from my most recent shop update. So it's called I Can Kill You With My Brain. It's themed off of River Tam from the Firefly show. And as you can see, there's some chunky speckles there. But I'm really liking the look of those chunky speckles on that Skein Queen for that voltage shawl pack. And now I'm sort of thinking, do I need a voltage shawl? I might. It's another 4-ply project, so I'd have to commit. But I'm thinking it might be a good project for Netflix and knitting, maybe. I don't know, perhaps. So that evening we went to the pom-pom quiz, and there was, I think, three rounds and a picture round. So in between the rounds, we would kind of wander around, and I got a chance to grab some footage of some of the art in the room that we were in. So this particular piece of art really stuck out to me. As you can see, it says, "Who made your clothes?" Which is something that many people are becoming a little bit more mindful of when you're, purchasing fast fashion, or so they say. How is that impacting the earth? How is that impacting the people that are employed to make those clothes? And is it the most ethical choice? Obviously, there's a lot of intersection in that not everybody can afford to only purchase ethically, which is, I don't know, sort of the trap of late capitalism, as it were. Welcome to the GamerCrafting podcast, where I'm going to apparently talk a lot about economics. Anyway, I found this piece of art really striking. As you can see, it looks like a sweater that somebody has added things to, so the pom-poms and the embroidery. But the question of who made your clothes, because somebody made them. They don't just, there's very few things that can be completely machine made. And even if it is machine made, somebody still designed it. Somebody was still there to make sure that it got finished properly. Somebody checked it to make sure that it was finished properly. So it's definitely something to think about as we move through life and start to become a bit more aware of our own choices and how it impacts the rest of the world, like I said, the environment or the people making it or what have you. It's something that I've been trying to think more about, and it's difficult because even if the end product is ethically made, you don't know if every step along the process has been ethical. So, if you get somebody who's making you a pair of rainbow lizard print overalls like I purchased a few weeks ago, you don't know. Well, I don't know if the clasps were ethically made. I don't know if the fabric was ethically woven. These are all different steps that it's difficult to know. And it's like, well, are they using, what are they called, closed circuit facilities for the weaving and the dyeing and so on and so forth of the clothing, or how much water is getting wasted in the dyeing? These are all things, like, if you start to think about it, oh, you'll never wear clothes again. Well, I'll just give up. And it becomes difficult, especially if you add in issues of animal rights and ethical animal husbandry. There's been a lot of talk about that lately with PETA and that. Talking about, because most sheep shearers are paid by the sheep and not by the hour, so there's been some chat about that. I will say that the yarn that I dye almost all of it comes from South America, except the stuff that I'll be getting in. Anyway, most of the stuff that I have comes from South America, and the company that I get yarn through will go and they visit the farms and they do spot checks to make sure that the animals are all being treated well and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's things to definitely keep in mind and sort of be a bit more mindful of, I think. So I just did some quick little, this is me like stepping over people and trying not to crash in anyone's table. I kept the sound off because I'm not talking, I wasn't talking about the stuff. I was just trying to get some quick footage, yeah, like lightspeed, as I was sort of stepping over people. And it was because I was trying to get to the end so that I would remember who the artist was, which I'm sure I'll be panning to in a second. Katie Jones. And then there was also this piece of art, which was by a different artist, that's doing a lot with sort of like reds and ombres and really unique things with structure and placement and weaving and that kind of thing. And this was a woman called Tara Kennedy. So I'll pause it here so I can read this to you. So she's a textile artist, and she's interested in creating messages within her work, originally being inspired by the unity of her mixed cultural heritage. The despair she feels of different cultures and religions suffering in conflict drives her to communicate important messages of acceptance, empathy, and hope in her work. She feels it's possible through understanding these messages there could be more harmonious outcomes. But anyway, I thought that art was very striking, the colors that she chose and the message behind it. And like I said, I think that's something that Unravel does really well, is having these art installations in around other events that are going on. They're not just sort of like tucked away in a corner somewhere. They're in and around and amidst the festival and part of it. So, so throughout the quiz, there was much hilarity, and our team was awarded the the Rowdiest Team Award, which I'm sure you'll all be shocked by. And so this was at the end when they were announcing the winners. So here you go. Here's where we placed. There, mind you, there's 4 teams. Oh, I better turn the volume up.
Cool, I'll just take some videos.
Alright, third place with 18.5 points. It's Match and Robbie at Lucy Party.
Was that just like insane? Did we lose half a point? No.
So as you can see, our team, which also included Lola of Third Vault Yarns, we got to choose some of the older publications from Pom Pom, and so I chose this one. It's called Take Heart by Fiona Ellis. I'm pretty sure that they actually released this at Unravel 2 or 3 years ago, because I have like a vague memory of it being there and of her being on a stand across from them. Anyway, so this is the one that I got. There's some nice cables in here actually, that like this is called Queenland Beach. I quite like the look of that. So that about wraps it up for Unravel. Obviously, like I said, there was tons of people that I didn't get a chance to talk to. There was a lot of people that they were just, I don't know, it was so busy there all day, and then by the time that it was even slightly less busy, I only had about 20 or 30 minutes to run around and try and get in as many people as I could before the vendors all went home or back to their hotels for a well-deserved meal and hopefully just chill out session. So obviously thanks for hanging in there with me throughout all of that emotional there's construction going on outside, for all that emotional upheaval and chat about sort of body image and how other people perceive us, and my quite modest stash acquisitions, I feel. Done, dude. Anyway, thanks for sticking through with me for it. Obviously, we'll be back on Saturday night for a gaming live stream. I think we're playing Carmen Sandiego in space on Saturday, so do come along for that. And what else is going on? There'll be a mini shop update later this week, so on and so forth. And obviously, like and subscribe if you would please. Help us with that YouTube algorithm, and hopefully we will be seeing you all at Woolen in June. I had a real long pause there while I tried to figure out what I was talking about. I obviously need another like 4 mugs of coffee. This isn't even green. This is a yellow mug, and look what it's doing to me. Anyway, we hope that we will see you all in Woolen in June, which is our next show, and I think the only other one that we can announce right now. That's all I can say about that. So we will be at Woolen in June. We hope to see you there. There will be various other things between now and then, including the OTP shop update at some point in March. I'm not exactly sure when. It just depends on when I get everything finished. I've dyed through about half of it. I'll be dyeing through the rest of it as soon as I am finished packing up clubs. As soon as I'm finished packing up clubs for the month. So as I said, do like and subscribe, and we hope to see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.